Hi there, everyone. Welcome to the in-between episode for Holy Hops Tavern. We are going to be doing leveling up as well as interacting with the chat, which we will have up momentarily.
Sure, we will.
We can hope. And so this is going to be an in-between session. I like the idea of doing like these story arcs. We just finished the Debt Owed story. We're going to be transitioning into a new bit in the next few sessions. But today's going to be just a little bit of a follow-up to leveling, setting expectations for both me and the players, making sure that we're on the same thought wavelength. And yeah, hopefully interacting with you guys and seeing what questions you might have.
Hey, John, in Restream, what are we live on?
I don't have Restream open, but I can open it. I'm just trying to get Zoom set up here.
Just because I don't see us as... Oh, wait.
For those of you who are
In Restream, what are we live on? Okay,
Well, we're live on something.
we're live on Twitch.
Yep.
All right.
um,
No one's there.
You
so-
guys might notice that Meg isn't with us right now. John is currently working on setting her up through
She's passed.
Zoom. She's not dead, but
She's not?
yet.
Okay.
But yeah, right
John
now
looks
she's
so
just
short.
off site.
I know. Yeah, it's not it is what it is right now.
We had a week of trying to make things better again. Every time we try to make it better, something else goes wrong.
We just
We're
need a
getting
little
there.
More, we need a little more prep time on Thursdays. No
We'll
one's here
get
yet.
there.
No one's here yet. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's not a dumpster fire.
No, I mean, the audio's working this week. Everything's okay so far. We're alive and well. And
Yeah, I mean, really, except for your camera being short,
yeah.
everything else is running great.
I mean, Meg's alive. She doesn't have COVID.
Wow.
Hypothetically.
think.
I mean, kind of. It's all good.
So we can't angle that down a little bit for you?
What are you talking about? You don't like the fact that I'm like...
I mean, you're pulling off that, man,
Here.
what was that Craftman, Toolman Taylor neighbor guy?
Thank you, Alicia.
You're welcome. Tim the Toolman Taylor?
Yeah. Kind of reminds me of the
Wilson.
neighbor. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
That
Hello,
was a
Meg.
dated reference.
All right, Meg, I'm going to get you. Hold on. I'm going to share you on my screen here. Hold on. See if this works. This is a first time for anything. I don't even know if people are going to be able to hear Meg, but as long as we can hear Meg, it's fine. That's all that matters.
And I actually do have YouTube open too. No one's there either.
It's fine.
We're talking to the void today.
So it's weird. It's showing Zoom.
Slack open? Can you send me the YouTube thing, or what is it? So I can see what's happening.
Oh, yeah.
It's showing that I'm sharing my Zoom screen, but it doesn't show the video that's on the Zoom screen.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So,
She could be a disembodied voice, I
yeah.
guess.
Yeah, I can just be here.
All right, we'll leave. I mean, as long as you're here and we can interact with you, that's all that counts.
And if she can see the chat, she can
Yeah.
help moderate a little bit, I suppose.
Just mute. Yeah, when you open up YouTube, Meg, just mute the audio on YouTube.
Meg, did you get the class information stuff that I sent over to you? Or gave to Alicia to give to... Yeah, thank you.
I'm trying to see, make sure we can hear Meg.
I mean, you're probably not going to be able to hear me. I can bring her in. Maybe it's audio.
Doop, doop, doop.
I mean, we could really play life dangerously and
I could do audio input. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull audio from another source. I could just do the computer, desktop audio.
yeah.
Might get weird. So we might have to just double check that real quick. Make sure it goes weird. Meg, can you talk for a few seconds?
I am talking for a few seconds as I fill in my character sheet here. Can you hear me?
We'll check. Yeah, you're great. Perfect.
Awesome.
Great.
If it works, it works.
Woohoo!
We should just put Gully's picture up where. we're
Yeah,
trying to
there
put
you
the-
go.
That's a great idea.
I'm on it.
I love that.
I like that too. We should just do that from now on, and then I never have to be on camera.
Nope.
That's
Nice
cool.
try. Now we get to watch John play with pictures again. Oh, that's a character sheet.
So we do have someone on Twitch now. Yay!
Woohoo!
Hello.
Already.
We all
It
are
is.
also going to try to be a little more family friendly,
Yes.
so we don't have potty mouths, as we know.
We're just gonna try to keep it to PG-13.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
We are living works in progress.
Of course.
but we want everyone to feel welcome and comfortable at our tavern.
We do. We do.
So it is Thallium 1485 who joined us and that said that our mics are all good.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're building an audio reputation.
Lovely.
I don't have Gully's picture anywhere
Do.
because
Just
why
throw
would-
up whatever picture we
So-
have and just occasionally move it around when she talks.
I'll just put up a picture of Meg.
Thallium asked if we record everything while playing digitally or on character sheets. So we mainly use character sheets. I use GoodNotes and I imported my character sheet in there because I am a technophile. But John uses a folio.
I have a lovely folio here, but I also have I also use D&D Beyond, and I have my character sheet on there.
And then Meg, I believe, just uses a straight up character sheet.
Well, for now, my new tablet should be here in a week, and then I plan on moving just away to where what John does.
And then, fun story Caleb here is technologically illiterate.
Correct.
So he uses pen and paper for everything.
The only exception for my DMing, not pen and paper, is with a different game where I DM using mainly my books and I use Trello for note keeping. It's probably not the best option out there, but it works great. But yeah, so everyone uses something a little bit different. I clearly don't have any rules against people using phones at the table here for obvious reasons, nor at any of my other games. So it all depends on what your players or you are comfortable with. But speaking of character sheets and how we do things, I guess we can start off by leveling you up, and we'll just keep an eye out for you if you have any further questions.
This is why we need your phone because my character sheet's on the device that I'm using to monitor.
So what do you need mine for? Here, you just take my phone. I'll start my first game. It's an even. Oh, well, while she's bringing up her phone, this is actually pretty straightforward. If you're a new DM, I assume that you also have new players. I mean, nobody knows much of anything, and that's okay. It actually makes it a little bit easier and a little bit more forgivable. In terms of story arcs, I would try to keep it to like, let's try to get one game in. So it would be like a shorter story. Like some goblins are causing some problems on the road. Let's handle that. In terms of the DM prep side, like if you were wanting to run this story, all that depends on what you have access to. Do you have the player's handbook? Do you have any rulebook resources, or are you starting off straight up? If you're starting off with nothing and budget's an issue, you can always go online to the D&D website where you can get the free rules, and that's more than good enough to start with. You have access to monsters that way. You have access to the basic rules. And if you're dealing with new players, yep, all brand new. Great. This will keep it really easy then.
They have the D&D Essentials kit.
Oh, I love
so
the
you got-
Essentials kit.
So you got a rule book in there.
Yeah, and that's actually a really nice rule book to start with because it consolidates all the extra fluff out of it. So you basically just need to read through the rules section of that, have a good idea of how that part works. I assume that you know how combat generally is supposed to go. You roll initiative, monsters have their turn on theirs, and players have their turn on theirs. So once you figure out the basic rules of how it goes, I would ask the players before the game starts what they would be interested in playing. Then I would print off a pre-gen character for them. Again, pre-gens are available off the D&D website, so that shouldn't be too much of a hurdle. And then you can just hand that to the player on game night. Then I would present to them the basic rules. You roll the round dice to do things, and then as the story progresses or as they want to do things, you prompt them for what actions they need to do. And with the basic rules, I would just use 1 or 2 monsters, have those encounters. And I wouldn't have like them meet in a tavern. I would have them in the middle of things. For example, I would have them be on the road from point A to point B, protecting a merchant, and just call that the session. Have 1 or 2 encounters, get them acquainted with things, and then spend the rest of that evening just relaxing and talking about what they enjoyed. Yeah, that's the long of it, but I hope that answered the question a little bit.
So
All I've got is, yep. But yeah, the D&D Essentials Kit is amazing. The only thing for the Essentials Kit I would recommend is not actually write up the characters. Past that, the adventures in the Essential Kit are amazing, easy to run. I actually ran Alicia a little bit through the Essentials Kit, and it's very simple and straightforward. So, great starting point.
I have a follow-up real quick. So, in watching the AC Inc., some of their early ones, or listening, I should say, because you can't see them. So, in listening, I noticed that they're talking about moving places on a board.
Yes.
So, are they using like some type of...
Acquisitions Incorporated, a different show, started off in 4th edition. And that system was built a little bit more wargamey. So it required a map in order to play it properly.
Gotcha. Okay.
They went away from that with 5th edition just because it limited the DM's ability to tell specific types of stories.
Got it.
And limited players with weird things that they wanted to do. So,
That makes sense.
and we're doing our show mainly Theater of the Mind is the version that we're encountering this. You do not need a map. You do not need any fancy tools. You just need to be able to articulate what you see in your mind
That's fair.
with this. So yeah, 4th edition is where it started off with. Technically, we can use a mat. I can use a mat, but it's only really beneficial in certain circumstances when combat gets really complicated.
That makes sense. So just a note to everyone out there, we also have a lovely studio here that we're working through. So if anybody is in the area and would like to use the studio, just reach out to us and we can discuss options for you guys to come in. Does somebody have the audio on outside the room?
I've been popping in and out.
I hear the audio, like somewhere.
In your mind?
I have the thing muted.
Oh, it might be. What do you mean you hear the monitor's on?
No, I hear it like outside somewhere. It's weird. I don't know. Anyway, I don't care. I'm also super bright on the camera. I can't figure out why.
The maps it comes with are beneficial for you. The only big maps that are useful for combat situations, maybe the Dwarven Stronghold particular region. That's the only one that the map might be beneficial. The rest of the maps it gives you, you can articulate to the players. You enter this particular room with these things. So you don't need to like print things off or have a battle mat out for them. Most of the maps presented in the book are beneficial for you so that you have spatial awareness of the area. It's not for the tactical aspect of it. The rules that it gives you in the essentials kit for creating a character is once you've hooked the players, really. If your players that are there are already 100% invested in a game, yeah, they can go ahead and make a character. But if some of your players are a little on the fence, go ahead and just get a pre-gen so that they don't have to worry about the technical side of things as much. They can just sit back and enjoy the game. So it really depends on your players, but my recommendation is for new players just to start off with pre-gens anyway, so that if there are any mistakes in the character creation process, it's not going to hurt him to be able to play the game later. I hope that answered the question. That is a massive head
I
there.
don't know what you're talking about. Looks great on my screen.
Twitch is delayed by
Yeah.
about
Look at
30
that.
seconds. So
Meg just saw it too. Meg's like, there I am.
all right. So should we get started with me?
Yeah. So the first character we're going to be leveling up is Alicia's character, who is now level 2. And so the fun beginning thing.
We're gonna have to update our frame.
You mean especially because, as no one but me has noticed, Quinto has the wrong class on his.
Oh hell, dear. Yeah, I'm a cleric.
Yeah.
God,
Should fire the
Gosh
person
darn it.
making.
didn't say a bad word. I said,
Thank you for
gosh
trying.
Darn it. Of course.
So
Dang, nabbit.
I said PG-13.
so the first thing I generally have my players do,
I want all the hit points.
7,000
Well,
hit points.
Can we
I like to
negotiate?
have my players roll hit points. Okay, cool. Sounds good. We're gonna start this weekend. So Nope.
You should
Hi
really,
there.
you should really read out loud what you're reading on the screen if
that's
you're going to
fair.
Yeah, I
talk about
have
it.
no idea when he's answering those questions. Half of those I didn't know what he was talking about.
I apologize.
We're going to actually
We're
work
learning.
on, in the next couple weeks, bringing the Twitch chat
Into
into
the-
OBS so
yeah.
that we can all see it better. But for
Woohoo.
now, we are going to read to you the things that we need to.
So Feeneybuck said maps come in very handy for the directionally challenge, and that is true, especially for things like dungeon delving and some crazy things like that. But if you haven't noticed with my adventures, I've kept the navigation as utterly simple as possible because I'm directionally challenged. So
Fun story.
I appreciate that.
Caleb grew up in the town we went to college in. It's where I met him. And still needed Google Maps last time we went to visit, whereas I did not.
It's awesome.
so
I've never made it to the office without Google Maps.
It is far.
All right, so what am I rolling?
4 hit points. Druids roll a d8, I believe. I only allow rerolls on hit points if you roll a 1. 6. That's great. 6 plus your Constitution modifier is what?
7.
Great. Increase your hit points by 7. That brings you up to what?
I am not our child.
What's your current hit points?
It brings me up to 16.
Oh,
I can do basic math sometimes.
that was a good roll for you then. Especially since you're turning out to be the tank of the group.
I'm a tanky druid.
All right. Now at 2nd level,
Sad but true, our 7-year-old probably could have done that math faster.
It's all right.
so at 2nd level, you get Wild Shape. You join the circle of the spores, which you've been feeding into
Fungus.
and doing stuff there. And you also get 1 additional 1st level spell slot.
Ooh. Here, John, while I'm doing this, can you watch the Twitch chat?
So wherever you keep your spell slots, go ahead and increase that one by 1 because that is the easiest one to remember to adjust.
I have a question here. What's the point for the ability scores? Because when you make a strength check, for example, you roll a d20, it's got nothing to do with the strength ability score.
Can you read that again,
Yeah.
please?
What's the point for the ability scores? Because when you make a strength check, for example, you roll a d20, it's got nothing to do with the strength ability score.
A strength check, for example, you have a 0 modifier in strength.
Correct.
So if someone were trying to move like a cart off the
I
road,
actually have a -1.
oh, even better example.
You might want to go with how he got the -1 because I think the disconnect is between the score and the modifier, possibly.
Okay. The strength score basically does nothing except tell you which modifier you have. The modifier is the important number. So his -1 from his 8, 9 strength
8.
affects the d20 roll. So when I ask Quinto to, whenever he's trying to push the car out of the road to make a strength check, he would roll the d20 and he would subtract 1 from that number. As opposed to this druid who can now shape change or wild shape into like a bear, and in bear form, she can shove that card out of the way. She would be able to roll a d20 and add like +2 or 3 depending on the bear's strength score. That's how that modifier comes into play. I hope that answered your question. So, you've increased your spell slot by 1, right?
Yes.
Now, what that means for everyone is that she can cast 1 additional first level spell each day. Now, you also get Wild Shape, which is the complicated feature for you.
So I'm going to need to write this down somewhere.
Probably in your features. Yep, right there. Now, you can do this twice per rest. So you can do this twice before taking a short rest or a long rest. Any type of rest, it restores it. But you get twice before needing to do that.
Said, okay, I thought they were only for the modifiers, but yeah, I wasn't sure, and thanks again.
Yep. Doop, doop, doo. Okay. Twice per rest. Right now, you can only transform into CR 1/4 creatures. CR 1/4. A rule for me is that you have to have the statistics of the various beasts you want to turn into if you're going to transform into it, unless you're turning into something like a cricket. In which case, I assume you have 1 hit point and are useless.
I have another question for you.
Yep.
How long is a day in D&D, or is it just when everybody has done a decent amount of actions?
A day in D&D is a natural occurrence. It changes depending on how the story is flowing. One session in our game can be 2 days, or it could be like 2 hours. It really depends on what's going on in the story. So the time in D&D is based around the story that you're telling, not necessarily a number of actions or anything like that. So if they're traveling from like one city to the next, it might take them 4 days, and you just kind of hand wave that if it's going to be boring. In contrast, in combat, that has a very specific time it gives, and then you handle that with 6-second rounds of combat. So a day in D&D depends on the story, is long and short. So, you can transform into CR 1/4 creature, which is like dogs, hounds, stuff like that. Right now, you can't turn into anything that can fly. You're not.
No flying serpent.
I'm sorry. You're just not familiar enough with having wings. It's too odd for you right now.
So does that mean I can turn into a panther?
Yes, because those also don't have a swim speed. No flying, no swimming. And I believe panthers are CR 1/4.
I mean, if a wolf is, you would think a panther would be.
Yeah, they're similar. So those
All my
are
time in panther form.
the rough things that you can transform into.
How long do I stay?
You can stay in B shape for a number of hours equal to half your druid level rounded down.
So for an hour?
1 hour right now.
That's not bad. That's cool.
It's substantial.
That's a cool feature.
You revert back to your normal. you can revert back to normal as a bonus action. Doing transforming is an action.
Got another question for you.
Yep.
In the Essentials kit, druids aren't an option. Why is that?
Because druids are complicated.
There you go.
Um,
They're so complicated that Alicia tried to make me one without me even being one.
You're a druid
apparently.
at heart.
Thank you.
But yeah, the Essentials kit basically comes with just the 4 generic classes, standard classes. Fighter, Cleric, Rogue. Cleric is what I didn't say.
No, you said fighter, cleric, rogue, cleric.
Oh, Fighter,
Fighter,
Cleric,
Cleric,
Rogue,
Rogue.
Wizard, which are the standard classes since forever. Any minor deviation from those, they kind of excluded. Oh, I think they actually put Bard in there. They went with popular classes and the generic ones. Anything that's had a little bit more rules than some of the other ones, they excluded just to keep the rules as light and simple as possible for new players.
Follow up. How many times can a druid change forms in a day?
Right. Oh, that is a good question. Right now, she can transform twice before taking a rest. A rest is an hour. So, generally speaking, it's anywhere between twice, given how this story generally runs, or 4 times if they have like a break in the middle of the day.
So, assuming that I didn't transform, revert, like let's say I kept each transformation, that would be 3 hours total. Or
2 hours.
2 hours plus the rest, 3 hours. So I could do that
8 times.
8 times,
Where's
which means I
class?
could transform 16 times at a maximum.
If you're being stupid efficient and somehow producing your wild shape in some mechanical aberration form, in which case you're probably not a druid. But that's a whole... But yeah, it's twice per short or long rest. It's not a per day thing. Whenever you transform, you keep all your mental stats. Your physical state changes. Your equipment either absorbs into you or drops. Your choice.
I mean, I think it's going to absorb. That seems like the obvious.
Okay.
Quick question about that. So, can I communicate with my team members still?
No. Depending on... I imagine you're still able to converse with Meg since she can talk to animals.
Yep.
But I thought it was small animals that you could talk to.
It says I can talk to small beasts. Are you beastly?
I don't... Okay. This is a little bit of homebrew. Because anything that deviates a little bit from the books is technically homebrew. It doesn't make sense that you can converse with a squirrel and not a dog. They're both animals, so I don't mind as long as it's just an animal.
Okay.
I
And I
like
can
that
understand them. Like, I could understand what they're
Yes,
saying.
you can understand what they're saying, no problem. Your mental faculties are exactly the same.
Okay. So I can only talk to Meg.
Correct, unless you turn into a parrot.
There you go. Interesting.
Yeah, you basically have the physical limitations of whatever you turn into. So if you want to turn into like a dual-wielding beast of some kind, I recommend a monkey or gorilla or some... That way you can have like opposable...
Wait. Can I have Meg or can I have Quinto and or Gully carry 2 tiny scimitars for a little monkey? I absorb my equipment. One of them would have to carry it, but this monkey with 2 tiny scimitars.
You're way too excited about this.
I see it so clearly in my head, and it is so cute.
This is going to be, just for everyone listening, I have no doubt within 6 months this will be an animated series. Just so you're aware.
I'm
I will
so glad
learn
you're
to animate
optimistic.
to do this.
Somebody, if anybody out there does animation for free, we'll let you use our studio. I have
We
another
will-
question.
we'll
Could
trade
druids be
coins.
any animals?
The limitations is based
Eventually.
on their level. Right now, because she is level 2, she's limited in her CR And
Won't explain
that
what
is
CR is.
it. They used to reduce it by size.
We
but
also
I
can't
don't
fly
see
or
size.
swim.
Yes. So
But you might want to explain what CR
I
is.
will. So it's determined by the strength of the thing that she wants to turn into. Right now, she's only limited to CR 1/4, which is something small, like a dog, a panther, not a rhinoceros or a mammoth. But it has to be something natural, not like a chimera or basilisk.
Or a displacer beast.
Yep. The only other limitation besides the power of the creature she can turn into is flying and swimming speed. She can't do that right now just because she's not able to transform into something with gills or something with wings because that's just too awkward.
So I can't transform into a parrot.
I would technically allow you to transform into a parrot. You just are not able to fly because you don't understand wings. Also, when you transform, there are a few specific limitations. You can't cast spells in that form. Just because the amount of magic that you're harnessing kind of takes up your ability to cast further magic. But you can concentrate on magic.
So could I cast Shillelagh before wild shaping, and then, well, no, because I wouldn't have my staff anymore.
You could cast Shillelagh, transform into a monkey, and then go around as the Monkey King and start whacking people.
Yes.
That is something you can totally do. As long as you're concentrating on a spell, you can do it. You can't cast a spell in the form.
I have some feedback. So Fenabach.
Yep. Hi,
said-
Mom.
Oh, it's your mom. She said you will have to have special training to be able to wield a weapon in monkey form.
No, not necessarily.
He said, "Hell no, mom." I was going to say something more harsh, but I'm saving my curses.
I appreciate that.
Of course.
Maybe special training with if you're trying to do something that doesn't have normal hands, but the physicality of a monkey is similar enough. But I would
And-
let it slide.
Another question is, how many races are in Player's Handbook compared to the Essentials Kit? Well, I have that. We both have the
gosh.
handbook right in front of us.
I'm not sure what's in the Essentials Kit. I believe it's just like maybe 6 of the races, and there's like 12 in the Player's Handbook.
And then aren't there more in each of the,
Yeah, there's so many different. Like I have Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, which has like 5 more over there, and yeah,
There are ways to get all these digitally too, as well, right? At a discounted rate. Not that we're condoning stealing these things online.
there's D&D Beyond where you can buy them individually, which you can do. Yeah, that's probably the cheapest if you wanted like something very specific. A lot of them are free. Like the PDF of the players, like the free D&D material that Wizards of the Coast provides probably includes all, if not most, of the standard races. So
and just the free stuff on D&D Beyond. There's most
There's
of
a ton of
Player's
stuff.
Handbook is
Yeah.
in D&D Beyond for just
yeah,
an unpaid membership.
And I think what's mine? I think I'm paying a couple dollars a month. I'm only paying a few dollars a month. I'm paying like $4 a month, and you can have like 6 or 7 character sheets. You could get all of their companion materials that are on there, but you do have to pay extra for like the Dungeon Master's Guide and all
Yeah.
that other stuff.
so it depends on what specifically you're looking for and what the players want. Because if you want it for your knowledge, that's one thing. But if a player has no interest in playing something bonkers, then there's no reason to cash out for it unless you're the one interested in it. So,
For instance, we have the entire library on a bookshelf
and I love it.
because he's a nerd,
That's nice.
and I love him.
All right. Well, going back to the Druid Wild Shape, you can't cast spells. You also gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the hit points of the creature you transform into. So if you transform into the monk this weird shillelagh monkey fighter person, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to whatever the hit points of the monkey is. And as soon as you drop down to 0 for the temporary hit points for the monkey, you revert back to your standard form.
Okay. I remember that.
And that's it for that. That's how Wild Shape works. La-da-da. Your spell list doesn't increase because you have the full array of spells available to you. And now we can talk about Spore Druid.
Just to
This
let
is-
you know, we are at almost 3:40. We still also have Meg and John to go through, and I live with you.
That's all right. We were getting a lot of questions, so it's all
Okay.
good.
Spore Druid is in Guildmaster's Guide to Ravnica, as well as Wildemount, I believe.
So Valium said if you could show him your bookshelf, he would love that. Whoever that is.
Oh,
He or-
gosh,
He or
man.
she. Sorry.
We will have to do a live one day at home and
Yeah.
show you the D&D room at home. Right now, it's also my home office, but it's pretty epic, and the bookshelf is
It died and it
Impressive.
had to be replaced. So, Spore Druid.
Somebody just said, "Where's Meg?" Valium said, "Where's Meg?" Meg is at home. She was feeling under the weather, so being responsible human adults in the time of pandemic, Meg is at home. She's joining us via Zoom. We just can't share the Zoom screen because we can't bring it in as another streaming video.
Hello, everybody. I'm
She's
here.
there. She's hanging with us.
I don't know if they can hear me or not, but I'm
yeah,
here.
they can hear you.
at least last time we checked, they could hear
Yeah,
you.
whatever. Yeah, well, I mean, you could check too, Meg. Let's see if you can hear yourself. Meg's eating a cookie
All right.
I also have tea.
and tea. Good.
As a Circle of Spore Druid, you do get access to very fun things. You get Chill Touch for a cantrip, straight up.
Meg, Caleb's mom said she hopes you feel better soon.
Thank you. Tell her I feel loads better. Or I'm sorry, she can hear me. I feel loads better. Thank you very much.
All right.
It's
And
light.
I know.
because of the mushrooms that you've been cultivating, you now are surrounded by a halo of spores. Starting at second level, you are surrounded by invisible necrotic spores that are harmless unless you unleash them on a creature nearby.
Oh, I like that. That's great.
When a
Is this a feature or a cantrip?
This is a feature. So this is just you existing. You are surrounded by a cloud of evil spores.
That's amazing.
When a creature moves within 10 feet of you or starts its turn there, she's typing, so I'm pausing. You can use your reaction, which is used for attacks of opportunity, to deal 1d4 necrotic damage. And there is no saving. Unless they succeed a Constitution saving throw, which is equal to your spell save DC, which you should put prominently somewhere. I recommend dead center on your screen, like right there, right under the attacks. Okay, for all the players out there, spell save DC is 8 plus proficiency bonus plus ability modifier. Please write that under your attacks so that you know what it is.
Hey, Thalium, we are in the U.S. We're in the Philadelphia area, and it is 3:40 here. So you are officially 5 hours ahead of us.
Where are they from?
It's from England.
Oh, hi.
What part of Thalium? What part of England are you in? So I watch Premier League soccer, and I am a fan of a team, but I'm not going to say that out loud until I find out where you're from.
All right. Well, while that's going on, you also have the ability to do symbiotic entity. And this is in conjunction with your druid shape. So you can use one of your wild shapes to, instead of being this beast, you can instead expand the use of your wild shape feature to awaken spores on you. Instead of transforming into a beast, you gain 4 temporary hit points.
I'm going to write this all down later.
Okay.
We're recording.
For the people here, gain 4 temporary hit points, and your Hail of the Spores ability. You roll 2 of the dice. So instead of the 1d4, you would roll 2d4. And your melee weapon attacks deal additional 1d6 poison damage. So you can shillelagh them with necrotic, poisonous nonsense. This benefit lasts only 10 minutes, though, and until you lose, and that is until you lose all those temporary hit points, or until you use your wild shape again. So you can lose that ability by being dealt damage.
Okay.
Okay, and that is you. So there's that. And now I'm going to transition to the other side of the table.
You might need to.
Yeah, you should do
You
Meg.
should do Meg,
just
but
stay
you
there
should
and do Meg.
sit.
Or you
in-
could sit in my chair.
I mean, what do you think makes more sense?
But it doesn't matter.
Because
I
then
mean,
he
if
can
s-
have eye contact with
sits in-
Meg.
yeah, if he sits in my chair.
We can do Meg. Let's do that.
Just so you know, the video is not matched up with the audio, so it might be easier if I'm not looking while we do this.
That's fair.
Well, can you not see on Zoom?
UK, yeah. Is your Zoom
No,
audio?
Oh well, I see John on, or
Yeah,
I see John's picture on Zoom. That's it.
I can
Oh,
switch
hold
places.
on. I'll put my. I
We'll
think
see
it's-
if this doesn't break.
Let me see if I can do that.
Let me grab this, though.
If it's easier for us all to do it together, I did put my character sheets in D&D, and I mean in the
I have it on
Slack.
screen.
Um,
Meg, can you see me
you
now?
want to put those? I can see you now.
All right, cool. Caleb's gonna come over on this side.
Okay.
I just have my other camera set up
Okay.
so you have two camera shot. One's going to Meg, one's going that way. You'll see it when you come over.
Okay. Alicia,
But what I
can
was
you-
saying is, if it's easier, Caleb, for you to be able to see it, I slacked my
I have
D&D.
it. I have it up
character
on my screen.
sheet. Okay.
And
I didn't know if we wanted to share it so everybody could see what we're doing as we go, or
It's fine. Being able to just articulate it, we cover most of the basic groundwork.
and Thallium, yeah, I'm a Manchester City fan, so you're good. It's not that big of a competition. I was just hoping it wasn't Manchester United or Liverpool or something.
And Caleb, if you want
to. Thank you for your patience as we transition.
Trans humor there for everyone.
to. I mean, no one else can hear you probably there.
Oh, here you go.
Oh. Here, give it to me.
I'm no longer Quinto.
I'm a big fan of the Oxford comma.
me
Valium.
too.
He said if I didn't know. Yeah, well, that was what popped on there. He said if you haven't heard of Oxford. So I made an Oxford comma joke.
Okay. Over there, they just call it the comma.
Well, because they're right.
All right.
I need a charger for you. Oh, I got it here. Never mind.
My phone always dies. It's fine. So,
Jump around.
wizards don't get a crazy amount of stuff as they level up except for new spells and whatnot. Oh, it's nice actually being able to see a face. So that's novel.
Do you want me to-
So at level 2,
Solitary?
you get 1d6 hit points. So do you have your dice?
No, Alicia has my dice. She's gonna.
Oh
roll
yeah,
for me.
I'm gonna roll for her.
Meg, are you okay with that?
Yes,
Okay.
unless she rolls
already
all
talked about
ones, and then we're gonna fight.
All right. So go ahead, roll a d6. Again, we only re-roll ones.
You got 6, Meg.
So
Ooh,
congratulations on getting maximum hit points. So you get 6. What's your Constitution modifier?
Maybe you should have me roll for her more often.
Yeah, that's true. Where do I find my Constitution modifier? Where is that?
On
Is
the
that my?
left upper side of the page, there's your Strength, Dex, Con. Whatever the little number is
Oh,
on
it's
Con.
+1.
Okay.
You just so you know, my sheets are visible to you.
Okay.
Okay, so the Constitution modifier, the +1, do I change that?
No, you don't change your Constitution modifier, but that tells us the number we add to your roll there. So it's 6 plus 1, which is 7. So your hit points increases from
So
7
from 7 to
14.
14?
Yes.
All right, I'm updating it on my sheet. Did you see I made one that's all rainbow and colorful? I don't know if
that's
you're looking at the
lovely.
black one or the colorful one.
I'm looking at the colorful one. It's
Nice.
very prismatic.
Dalium, yes, we play a lot of musical chairs here. I don't know if you noticed, John and I can't stay on subject for the life of us, nor are we very good at actually staying in seats. So I'm glad it abuses you, though. That makes me happy.
Yeah, we're very human here.
Super transparent, very human.
He said
Well,
you guys
not
are
right now,
playing
I'm
like
an
musical chairs
illustration.
around the
Most of the
studio. I
time.
love watching your live streams. So we love that you watch them. Thank you.
I appreciate that. So yeah, you now have 14 hit points, which is insane. Wizards are generally extremely squishy. So
You can trip without worrying.
small
Yay.
mercies. On your number of spells, which is on page 3, your spell slots for first level spells, you have
So right
3
now I
of them.
have True Strike, Friend, and Acid Splash.
Right. We'll get to your new spells soon. But the number of times you can use those spells increases from 2 to 3.
Whoa,
So now-
that's so exciting.
Yep. And because you are this bartending individual, instead of a regular, I don't know, divination caster or enchanter, or you're not normal. I wrote up the arcane tradition mixology, which will be on my Patreon for free
Oh,
on October
I have
9th.
it right here. Alicia, can we put it up so other people can see? Or would that be too hard
It's
right
going to be
now?
on Patreon on October 9th.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize you said October
It
9th.
will be free, though.
Only if you're a patron.
No, that's not how that works. To everybody, yeah. So yeah, just keep an eye out for that. There's other things in the meantime, like the adventures that they're running through are also available free if you want to have a look at them. So yeah, at second level, you get to choose a couple things for your mixology. You gain proficiency in brewing supplies if you're not already proficient.
Woohoo. I don't believe I am.
Okay.
So where would I do that? And is
Your
that
prof-
something I put on my sheet?
Yes, it's on your first page in the lower left-hand corner of the page.
Oh, under proficiencies in language, like under
Yes.
aqua, I would just put what, brewing?
Yep, brewing supplies.
Excellent.
You also gain proficiency in one of the following. Insight, which is your ability to tell if someone's lying, or
I'm
just
already proficient in insight and persuasion.
okay. So do you want perform? You know, be a little bit of the
Oh, wait,
showy.
what is it? Insight, persuasion, or performance. Trying to really
And if you
know.
already have insight and persuasion, performance, that way you can flip your mixology stuff all over the place. And
Sure. All right.
So-
I will be proficient in performance.
okay,
So Thallium asked, how did we get our character icons? And yes, and I guess you guys each made your own characters. We did make our own characters on the Dungeon Havoc YouTube. There is a episode 0, which actually shows us making the characters. And then our portraits were drawn by Caleb. He is very talented. And then I made the little name tags with the characters in them. But all of the artwork that you see is done by Caleb.
and so yeah, those are the new proficiencies you get there. Alternatively, if you don't want the fancy showmanship, you can get a new language if you would prefer that.
I don't know what. I'll just do fancy showmanship. It's fine.
You also become a savant of cocktails. You know how to make the different drinks. Since you seem to really want to do that anyway, I figured
Yes.
might as well make that a class feature for you. So you get a small
Do I
dose.
add that under my proficiencies?
No. This list you should just have nearby. So I printed off a list so that you can have that on you. But throughout the day, as an action, you can make a cocktail that provides a small bonus when consumed. If the person consumes too many of these, though, they gain a level of exhaustion. So it's a limited.
I did read through the whole thing. So.
Right. For the viewers, she has access to the ability to make various drinks that provide a small bonus to ability checks or give them a one-time additional dash or disengage as a bonus action instead of a regular action, or just a number of different features depending on the type of drink she wants to make. If she wants to instill them with a little bit of confidence, she would make the appropriate drink for it. But if the person consumes too many of them, they'll gain levels of exhaustion which can hurt their speed or kill them. So they need to be careful about how much of the beverages that she makes. So that is what you get for that. Now, as a wizard, your spell book is increasing. You're tampering with different spells, and you get 2 additional spells past the ones you already have right now. Now,
Okay. So the spells I already have are on my sheet. If you want to look, the 6 first level spells. So, what would I add under that? So it's 2 second level spells, or do I upgrade all of those to second level? How does that work?
No. You still have the 6 first level spells, which I don't see. I'm not
They're
sure
in
why.
blue on the features and traits
They're in blue.
under the dark. So I
Okay.
have
Got
I
it.
wrote them there just so I have them.
Okay. Oh, I'm glad that you notated them. Where they normally are recorded on the character sheet is on the 3rd page on first level spells.
Okay, I can move them over there.
Yeah, don't worry about that for now, though. Right now,
Oh, well,
she has.
I mean, I'm updating mine as we go.
Yeah, that's fair. Right now, you have Burning Hands, which you've used a few times, Color Spray, which you've attempted to use once, Featherfall, which has been very helpful, Find Familiar, which is crazy useful. It allows you to, a feature of that you haven't used yet, is it allows you to use touch spells at a distance. So your frog companion can go up and give like a shocking grasp to somebody, or transfer one of your spells at a distance. So it's a fun, obnoxious thing you can do to people. You also have jump, which I'm surprised you didn't use that spell to jump onto the enemy ship. Or use that on one of your allies to jump across the water on the ship. I do like the fact that you have this frog and you have the jump spell, though. I think thematically that's fun. You also have Hideous Laughter, which is the best spell ever. So you also get 2 new spells to add to your repertoire.
Okay.
What kind of magic do you feel like you're lacking at this point? Like, is there something you've wanted to do where it's like, or is there one spell that you've tried to use and it's like it doesn't quite do what you expected?
Mostly I can't heal anything. I would like to have some kind of healing,
All
if
right.
that's a possibility.
Wizards don't get
Caleb?
yes.
There's a question of, can a rogue use magic?
There is a subclass of rogue that does get magic called the Arcane Trickster. They get a smaller, reduced spell. They get reduced spell slots and a limited number of spells that they can draw from. But yes, that is the only rogue spellcaster that I'm aware of at this point.
And same question about bards.
All bards are spellcasters, so that's not a problem for them. They get spells up to 9th level as opposed to the rogue spellcaster, which you have to go into a specific school for, and they only go up to level 4. So depends on how much magic you want versus how much general utility you want. Rogues are generally just better. A bard can get better. I'm sure that did not make sense to you, but it actually does if you know both classes. So sorry. So first level spells. The wizards do not get healing. They do get a couple of interesting features that allow you to cheat death in a way. One of
Okay.
those is false life. Give me 1 second while I bring that up. False life. It bolsters yourself with life. You gain 1d4 plus 4 temporary hit points for the duration. So it's a quick way to be like, oh, all these bad guys are surrounding me. You can use that spell. Or even before combat, if you're going to be going past something that's clearly going to be really painful, you can use a spell to bolster your hit points to become a little bit more durable.
Okay. What's that spell called?
Well, that's false life. Give me 1 second while I look at more options. There's also There's also identify, which allows you to determine the magical. It allows you to figure out what something does without fiddling with it first. Which that
Okay.
came
Now
out
with
really-
that, now I'm already proficient in arcane and it, in my like traits, it says I have arcane recovery. So would that spell be kind of redundant?
Arcane Recovery allows you to regain some of your spell slots. So if you use your Burning Hands twice, you can use your Arcane Recovery to kind of rest up and get one of your spells back.
Okay.
So that's how that works.
And the fact that I'm proficient in arcane and history.
Both of those are beneficial because it allows you to maybe figure out some traits of an item or learn some lore around it. But it's not
Okay.
a guarantee, you're still rolling. If you want a guarantee, what is this thing? Identify is what that is for. It's a utility thing. It's not required, but it's recommend. It is something that is good. There's sleep, which puts people to sleep. Since you generally avoid combat and don't like hurting things, sleep is a good option to be like, not today. And
I don't avoid combat. I'm the first one in our group to go into combat every time.
that's fair. I don't know why I thought that.
Because originally when we thought of these characters, I don't think anyone expected the gnome to be that personality. It just kind of developed.
That's fair. Oh, a spell that you thought would be as more beneficial than it was Friends, which is the cantrip.
Mm-hmm.
You attempted to use that once, and it only lasts like a minute. For what you were trying to use it for, which is a little bit for this longer dialogue befriend. Yes.
Your mother would also like to note that identify would have helped a lot with the horn that we got if we didn't have the language that was written on it.
Yes. So if you encounter something, a magical item that you can't read, then it just bypasses those issues. Good example. Thank you. But yes, there's a spell called Charm Person, which is kind of like a greater version of Friends, where you cast a spell on them, and for the next hour, they see you as a friend. It doesn't last 1 minute, and it's just a general. They go from a slight advantage in the social encounter to, yeah, I know this guy, his name is Phil. He's the best bud ever. So that's closer to how I thought you would want to use Friends. So there's that. There's also Mage Armor, since you have an armor class of 11.
Okay. What's that one?
Mage Armor gives you an armor class of 13 plus your dex modifier, which is 1. So you would have a 14 armor class after casting that spell instead of 11, which is substantial.
Okay. Why don't we do that one as one of them? How many am I picking? 2.
Yes, you're just picking 2.
So what is that one? What's the name
that
of
one
it?
was Mage Armor.
Okay. And the other one that you said earlier about increasing your hit points. What was that one called?
False Life.
What is it? I'm sorry.
False Life.
False life. Okay, I think I'm going to take those 2.
Okay. So as you're leveling up and experimenting and talking to the locals, you've been developing these little tiny recipes for your spells there. And just so I know, what does your spell book even look like? We haven't exactly talked about that. It could literally be anything. I always
It's
imagined it
bound
as
with
like
leaves, like my hat.
well, that's
And
fun.
yeah, it's very like natured, and any of the product or stuff that I use, I have little dried samples of them onto the pages.
I like that.
Thallium said, "Great guy, Phil. Known him for years. Yeah, let him into the safe. I promise he won't take the treasure. That's a funny spell and literally life hacks I wish could use in real life."
Oh,
Me
actually,
too.
I'm gonna switch my spell book to the fact that it's made from like natural leather, and then the pages inside are the leaves
Oh, that's nice.
and tied with twine.
It's not written on pies. why
No,
you have all
did
those
you see
pocket
what I
pies.
added into my character? If you look on my character sheet on the first page where it says personality traits, I put loves pocket pies and Kevin.
I didn't know that loving pocket pies was a personality trait.
Oh, it is.
I really feel like it is between like the number of campaigns I've seen where someone has pocket pastries of some sort.
Yeah. Oh, and pocket pastries are actually a spell component for Tasha's
For what
Hideous
now?
Laughter, I believe. Tasha's Hideous Laughter, this one of the spells you have. It's ironic that you are like so obsessed with these pastries and they're actually relevant to you. Hold on.
She doesn't have Tasha's hideous laughter.
Doesn't she?
As I'm looking
I have
at her.
hideous laughter. Yeah, I do. That's
Yeah.
one of my
Where?
spells.
She does.
Is that one you just picked?
No, I already had that one.
No, it's not on your spell sheet.
The component.
Yes, it is.
Not the one I'm looking at. The
Is it the colorful one? Hideous Laughter.
It's
the
on.
very
It should
last
be on
item
all
there.
of them.
It's the
Where?
very last one on the list.
Oh, I was looking at the actual spell list. Not the.
We had this
Features.
conversation.
Well, I was paying attention to other things.
I noticed.
Sorry.
It's okay. So, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, to cast a spell, requires throwing of tiny tarts at the person and waving a feather in the air.
That's great.
And yet, everyone I know that I've seen play it is usually tells some horrible joke.
And I'm okay with that rendition. For the players and people who are new at DMing, if a player is doing something that's technically not how the spell's cast, but it thematically makes sense, just roll with it. If someone uses Tasha's Hideous Laughter by telling awful puns, that's brilliant. Let him do that.
I don't know if you picked up on this, but we are not sticklers for all the rules. They're guidelines. It's kind of like the Pirate's Oath or Pirate's Code.
Yeah.
Those are the guidelines.
So it's a game. That's how I view it. If it's not fun, then you're doing it wrong. So, yeah. So you have the two new spells. You've looked over the level 2 material. You basically have Savant's cocktails right now as the new feature for you. Now you can do that whenever you want. And past that, I think you're done. And now we just
Great.
need John, wherever he ended up.
John had to take a quick
Siesta.
no. So Bite Size Digital is our company for anyone who's behind on that. That Meg and John and I are part of. We have a few other people who work with us, but we're the main crew here. And John had a client call that got scheduled in the middle of our D&D game.
Wow.
And it was in conjunction with another company, so we couldn't move it.
Got it.
But he should be back any moment. So
All right. Well, while we wait for John,
Or so for class and level at the top of the page, does that switch to 2? And what exactly is my class?
your class is wizard.
wizard.
And let me double check if yeah,
So
for
now I
class
would
you would
be
just put
wizard level 2?
mixology wizard 2. And while we wait for John, we can talk about what you guys kind of imagine the tavern turning into.
Well-
Since it's going to be like a few months of downtime before the story picks up again, what would you guys actually do in that? Yes.
Valiant said that. Valiant, I'm sorry, I don't know. I will refer to you as they. I don't know what you prefer. Valiant said that they heard the same thing, the general advice of if it's not fun, don't play. So yeah, I think that's great. think that's the general advice I've been given for D&D. Don't play strict to the rules. Just generally know how things work, but just let the game flow, and that's a good way to play. I'm not sure, but sounds good.
All right. So,
Yes, we like to have fun, Valiant, so we agree.
now the way that I'm planning to tell this particular campaign story is have these story arcs, but those story arcs aren't back to back necessarily. So things are going to go back to standard tavern life for a bit. Is there anything you guys would want to do during this regular life goes back to normal bit? Is there anything you would want to work on, want to craft, want to look into further since you guys aren't as familiar with the world? Is there anything you would want to explore?
Well, I think I mentioned to you in developing my Spore Kingdom that I also wanted to work on establishing a fungal link to my twin, who was also a druid.
Yes.
So I spent a lot of time meditating on that.
So Pippin and Poppin are going to be Poppin and Lockin, and they will slowly develop this awkward twin sibling psychic relationship.
Fun fact,
Very
because my
creepy.
background is criminal, it also gives me my informant in the criminal underworld. Your mother mentioned that Gully is going to be running for mayor. LOL.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I'm going to be running for mayor, and then that might be enough. But we did talk about when we first were developing the world and the character, the floating rocks, and how I have that letter from my great uncle, and how I'm trying to figure out how to climb the rocks and use the everything for around the rocks into making them for my potions and our tavern and stuff. So I don't know if Gully and Kevin should spend some time rock climbing.
All right, that sounds fun.
Can I make them sticky spores to help them rock climb? Like that they can rub on their hands like chalk?
Sure, you can create a goo to help them. It is your decision to use the goo.
Valium hopes you get voted for, Gully.
I appreciate that. Every vote counts.
All right, the
2020, a year for change.
on the Drakes,
Or
it isn't
2021.
on Cragmaw in the small village of Prison Bay. It is an election year, but that's probably a few months off at this point. It's early in the year. You have some time, so you begin campaigning, or
This-
do you hold off on that for now?
I got to come up with a really good slogan and, make my campaign signs and find some people to endorse me, think of some
I think-
fundraisers, stuff like that.
I think your slogan should be, I don't leave dead bodies in my basement.
Oh,
I think
that's
it's just
great.
going to be Gully gets it done.
Okay, so you begin doing that, and you do some rock climbing. As you begin doing some basic exploration of these rocks, go ahead and give me an Arcana check. So, you can't. Alicia, roll a d20, and this would be an intelligence check for you.
Which I'm proficient in both Arcana and Intelligence.
Okay, and so what would Alicia be adding to the roll?
You rolled 9.
How old am I in this game?
How old are gnomes?
So I'm sorry. I know that was out
Valium
of the board.
suggested that your campaign slogan should be, I've got pocket pastries.
Pocket pastries for everyone.
And yes, the 5e in the logo is very cleverly added. I didn't notice it for a while either.
The what?
There is a 5e for 5th edition in the Holy Hops Tavern logo.
You reached adulthood at age 40, and they can live up to 350 to 500 years.
Oh my goodness.
So,
I reached adulthood at 40, but I'm going to be around till 300.
yep.
So you're like, what, 42?
Yeah, I was gonna say something like pretty young, honestly. Still naive, believing in politics and all that.
So
I'm gonna do 53 because 3 and 5 are my favorite numbers. That's
Alright.
how old I'm gonna be.
now, what is your intelligence modifier plus your proficiency bonus?
So my intelligence modifier is +3 and my proficiency bonus is 2. So we're at 14. Now,
Correct.
does it matter that, and you said arc, but never mind. Never mind. I get it.
Okay. Now, for the viewers, there is a reason why I keep asking these specific things. It's because I'm trying to build up a routine so that the game is learned. So, sorry, Meg, about
You're fine.
constantly having you roll over and over and over again.
I appreciate that. I understand. Can you
Okay.
also tell me, like, so what's the normal height and weight? I'm filling out the other part of my character sheet if that was not obvious yet. And I uploaded the picture you made, but I also would like to just fill in
Yeah,
the.
sure.
I am also working on uploading our more recent character sheets to dungeonhavoc.com where I'm building the little wiki.
Oh, yeah.
So
Oh, good. I'm gonna send you this one after I finish. Like,
I might need you to make all of them pretty, Meg. Meg's our designer.
hello.
I build websites.
I'm happy to make them all look like this. I can make them not rainbow if you would prefer, but I just liked the fun colors.
It's fun.
I mean, my character looks like Rainbow Dash. So.
I'm gonna be 103 because I just think that's more of a fun number.
Fun. You are also between 3 and 4 feet tall. And you are somewhere around 40 pounds.
Okay, so I'm gonna be 3'5", and how many pounds did you say?
Around 40.
And I will be 35 pounds. I'm just all about the threes.
John's computer keeps yelling at me.
It's because he gets a lot of emails.
Okay.
John's our boss man.
So, where were we? Yes, 14. So you're climbing up these rocks, just exploring, trying to figure out the nature about them. And it's apparent to you that these rocks are not native to the Madeira plane of existence. They seem to be an offshoot from a neighboring plane. Think of a multiverse. These rocks are from a different universe. This is common in this universe because Ragnarok has happened and all the various other universes have shattered and fragments of them lay on this world and overlap in weird ways.
And some of that is up on the wiki too. Some of the background history.
Yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, in this universe, everyone, the gods are dead, the planes are broken, and people are still trying to figure things out.
Nietzsche would love it here.
Oh gosh,
Nietzsche? Nietzsche?
it's German.
Nietzsche.
So you do recognize that these are from another world. So you're probably certain that these floating rocks are from a neighboring plane, and a touchstone to this adjacent plane is probably nearby, if you haven't already wandered into it.
Very cool.
It is a
So
great
what I'm
place to
hearing
do
is
interesting-
alien.
Sorry, what?
Said, so what I'm hearing is aliens.
Fortunately, not in this case. A more alien aberration vibe would come from a very different can of worms. Given the fact that these are just floating rocks with interesting native plants growing on them, you're probably guessing more of like just a general elemental, primordial feel to it. Less Geiger, more Ridley Scott. Oh no, Ridley Scott did both. Didn't he do Avatar of the Blue People? Is that Ridley Scott?
That was Spielberg.
Was that Spielberg? Anyway, think Avatar Blue People universe kind of alternate plane, not Geiger alien doomsday planet.
Gotcha. Okay, that's fair.
Tangerine does not belong in seltzer water. It's my unpopular opinion of the day.
Okay.
Tastes like somebody melted hard candy in cleaner.
That sounds horrible.
It is horrible.
But yeah, you can steal some of the herbs that have grown on these rocks and probably can turn them into a nice herbal tea or a nice herbal beverage.
Probably.
And that's probably how you got that particular one on your cocktail list. So that's what you do. You begin writing up your campaign slogans over the next few months, and you do some exploration of the mountain.
Man, I have been very busy.
Yeah, it's been a few
Okay.
months, so it works.
I like it.
And Alicia, you said you were making connection with your brother. You
I felt
were,
like that would take a lot of time and effort, right?
yeah, but I imagine that you would implant a spore that grew over that period of time. So you probably sent him a letter with some spores. He didn't realize what he was getting into. He opened it up, got asbestos up his nose, and vines grew all over his mind, and voila, you have this weird psychic connection with him. And he is doing okay. He's still gambling at Vex's, but he's put away 20% of all of his earnings for his siblings, which you have too many of.
Karen would just stop. Sorry, I'm discussing dice with Allium.
Oh, that's fine. I have a dice problem, so
Oh, I told him.
I know.
I told him. Yeah, he said when he picked up the Essentials kit, he was tempted to buy extra dice in the shop, but then thought he would also get addicted, which is so annoying. But honestly, he wouldn't mind if he did actually get addicted to thousands of dice. And I said, you can never have too many dice. Sometimes they betray you, to be fair. You need to get new ones then. And then I'm an enabler, and you can always use them to decorate. You can use them in crafts later. They're surprisingly versatile little things.
You're a monster. I have a problem as well, and I know that you can't see me roll my dice, but I generally only use a set of dice once before I put it back in the bag. And once, like, I use a set of dice for one session, then I put it in the bag, pull out another one. That way I don't get attached to any of them particularly. And
I get attached.
yeah, that way the feel of the game stays volatile. And I have so many that I can just give them to the players that are new. So if you, yeah, I gave Meg her set of dice.
I have these pretty ones that are like
Mine are my favorite color. Alicia has them right now, but I doubt she's using them.
No.
No, yours seem to always betray you. So I used mine.
That is not true. Mine do not betray me. Mine are just very dramatic in the sense that I either roll a 1 or a 20. I've rolled more 20s than anyone else in the game. I just have also rolled a fair share of 1s. So my dice, it's not that they betray, it's just that they're extremist. They're either like all in or not there at all. They don't want to deal with any middle ground. So I might just need more like all-encompassing dice.
That's fair.
For the record, this is the longest John has ever been on a call.
For the record, it is 4:20 right now, so we have another 40 minutes. I don't know if there's something else that we can discuss or.
Well, when John gets back, we're going to jump into his character sheet. But anybody have any other? Valiant would like to know what the most expensive set you've got, and I'm sad that they're not here for you to show off.
Man, the most expensive set of dice I own are three. Were they 2 or 3?
They were 200.
They were $200 and change, and
They were custom.
yeah, because I had a set of mouse bones that I had on me, and
I found them in a wall.
yeah, and so I cleaned them, and I sent them off to a dice maker. I don't know his name off the top of my head.
Look on your phone
And
for you.
I had them cast in acrylic with a little tiny blood swirl around it. They're really cool having these bone necromancy dice, but it cost me my firstborn. He returned them back to me, though, so it's all good.
We have a 7-year-old son who is very fun. He's a fun kid, but he's a lot.
Alicia, I would like you to know that when I went to save my new character sheet to my desktop, I put it in my file called Fun Work Stuff and completely forgot that my old character sheet was right in there. So when I had you send me the pictures and I recreated the whole thing before today's call, it was just a waste of time.
That's all right.
It-
I don't know how to access your DMs to get to that Dice Maker name.
I don't
I
know.
don't know where they are. I apparently don't know how to use Instagram.
I barely know how to use Instagram.
I remember now. I remember. That was dumb.
I think it's like Grim Styles or something bonkers. But yeah, I'll take a. I'm asking what social media he actually watches us on.
Yes, Thallium, how did you find us / where do you follow Caleb if you do on social media? If you
Oh,
don't
there
mind
you
us
go.
asking. We're getting to know Thallium better. I just
Because
said that
depending
was the
on-
longest call I think I've ever heard you be on. Okay.
And
That's
yeah, as soon as you tell us where you know us, I'll post on that particular channel the dice because I love them. They are crazy.
Didn't you post a picture of them on Instagram? Or were you tagged in a picture
I don't
of
know.
them?
I don't remember.
Instagram.
Anyway, so John's back, so we will do his character
He's back.
next.
Hi.
Back again.
Um,
Can you hear John?
Hi.
I
So
can hear you on the monitor, I think.
Yeah.
I imagine your character is here.
I have my character here.
Okay, good.
Do you need my sheets?
Let me put. No, you're gonna need your sheets.
You got it.
You want your
Pickles.
dice?
Yes, please.
Okay. That's the. Well, let me
You
grab
got the
you.
8 in there, right?
Yep, 8 and that one. Now, John is a cleric. Oh crap! Which one of these is yours?
I don't know. I don't care.
Doesn't matter.
That one's nice. I'll leave you with that one.
Doesn't
This
matter.
one
Doesn't
looks
matter.
like shit. That one's mine.
Whatever.
Caleb,
Sorry.
How dare you?
we were
So-
doing so
I
well.
know.
Like I said, I'm sorry. We're human. So
All the humans.
he is playing a cleric, which is a little bit stockier than a wizard. So if you don't mind rolling a d8 and adding your Constitution modifier. If it's on the floor, it doesn't count.
So this is Thallium is the person who DM'd you on Instagram a couple weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Archie1485.
Got it.
So if you want to tag
Instagram.
him when you post it,
Okay,
that would be awesome.
sure.
You got it, Thallium. You are now our best friend.
Because he talks to us.
I know.
We'll take it.
We're
I don't know
really
the
friends.
6.
Okay.
I mean, let's not discredit Caleb's mom. She
Oh,
also
Well,
Never
I
mind.
mean,
Oh, she
I've been-
requires my affection.
I have been friends with Kim longer than I've known Caleb.
That's true.
So
There you go.
So 6 plus your Constitution
I
modifier.
don't have a Constitution modifier.
So it's 6. Increase your hit points by 6.
Okay, my hit points are now 14.
14. You now have the same amount of hit points as the wizard. Wizard!
how many do
Woo
we have?
woo!
16.
I don't know.
16. Yes.
Yep.
Thank you for remembering,
You're
John.
welcome.
What a squishy group.
Yeah.
Okay. 5th edition is fortunately very forgiving with party dynamics. In editions of old, I would recommend at least 1 healer, 1 tank, just to help survivability. But 5th edition is pretty forgiving
We'll
with
squish along.
a lot of casters. So, as you gained a level, you also get a additional first level spell slot. So now you can cast 3 spells in a day.
Okay.
You also get the ability to channel some of your divinity.
Nice.
So you grab that divine magic that flows through you, and you can use it to turn undead.
What does that mean?
So you use turn undead. You hold up your stein of power, or your shot glass, actually.
Yes.
And undead within 30 feet of you must make a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, they are scared of you, and they run away.
Oh, I like it. All right.
Valium said we're his favorite D&D players he stumbled across.
Oh,
I
thank
like
you.
being people's favorites, so
Yeah.
it makes me happy.
Please send a DM to Critical Role and tell them they suck. Thanks.
Oh gosh! Don't do that.
Do that. However, he did DM you again on Instagram, so you have his thing. So when we get home, I will set a reminder for you to share your mice dice.
I appreciate that.
Nice dice.
So, in addition to your turning of undead, you also get a specific turning based on your divine nature. Given the fact that your divine nature is beer, can you hand me the other book? Yep, that one. I'll let you take a photo of. I believe I sent you this. I'll probably send it to you again at some point.
Okay.
But you also get Blessed Brew. Starting at second level, you can use your Channel Divinity to transform a container of non-magical liquid, so not one that Meg is tampered with,
Right.
into a Blessed Brew. It provides a number of doses equal to 3 plus your Wisdom modifier. So you can use your Channel Divinity to create a lot of a fancy liquid that you, your comrades, and a few friends can benefit from.
Okay.
This dose provides one of the following. It can give you and your friends advantage on charisma-based skill checks, which is absurdly strong. That's basically Meg's friend spell, but for everybody, and there's no downsides.
Okay.
So Meg, just to prevent that cantrip from feeling redundant, we might want to look into changing that for you, since I don't want your fun negated by his feature.
Okay.
But that's a conversation we can have later. So advantage on charisma-based skill checks, so you become friendlier. You can provide everyone a +1 bonus to AC. That's on top of like your mage armor, on top of armor or druid wild shape. It just is a general +1 bonus to AC. Or it gives the people who drink it +1 increase to your save DC on enchantment spells. So if instead of this small bonus that benefits like if you wanted Meg to have a good chance of actually charming that person over there, or using one of her enchantment spells, or help Alicia with one of her enchantment spells, it would increase her save DC by 1 and make it harder for the person to resist.
Okay.
That is also stupid powerful. These bonuses last 1 hour.
And these are these spells?
No, this is what you're, instead of turning undead, you make a magical drink that does not consume a spell slot. You can do this twice per day.
That's what I was going to ask. Okay.
Let me just double check that. Nope, I lied. You can do this once between rests. So you can do this, take a quick rest, do it again.
Okay.
This bonus lasts 1 hour, and it leaves a warm buzz behind when it fades.
Nice.
A creature can benefit from only 1 dose between rests. So you can't just spam it. And after 1 hour has passed, the brew turns into a nice, tasty, mundane beer of your choice.
Love it.
And there you go with that. So you get Turn Undead, you get Blessed Brew, you get the additional spell slot, and I believe that is it. Now I've asked how are we looking
I don't
on
get
time?
any more proficiencies or anything?
No.
Okay.
You got a lot of that at first
I know,
level.
I was going to say that. Yeah. I have a lot.
Clerics, this is an interesting difference between you and the druid and the wizard. Clerics are innately tied to their divine whatever, so they have to pick their path at first level. These two have a little bit more wiggle room because a druid could be a druid of a lot more different things, and they can pick their specific focus later. Same thing with a wizard.
Got it.
All right. Now, it's going to be a few months between the end of last session and the beginning of the next one. Meg has decided to go explore those floating rocks, figure out how that can help her beverages, as well as begin writing up campaign posters for when she runs for election a few sessions down the road.
Yep.
Alicia sent a letter to her brother to put a fungus in his brain so that she can telepathically communicate with him, because she's a monster.
Yeah.
He's a druid too.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be a consensual connection.
It is a
Hippity
consensual
popping.
connection.
Okay.
Otherwise, the fungus could not grow naturally by itself.
Have you heard of Dark and Dicey?
I've heard of them. I haven't seen anything of them.
Valium recommended them. We're talking about other games.
Well, at least by watching the different games, he should have a good idea of the pacing of how different things go.
He agrees with us that Critical Role is a bit overrated.
Oh, DM them. Tell them they suck.
I'm gonna cut that out later.
Tell them Dungeon Master saying.
Don't cast shade. Everyone has their own type of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
So he suggested them, but said that they are a very long game. Maybe
It's
too long.
true.
So I really like keeping them a little shorter.
Yeah.
Keep things moving.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry.
So what would you do over the course of those 2 months, roughly? I need to post the calendar somewhere so that you guys see. I know nobody else cares about yearly seasons, but
It will be on holyhopstavern.com
What will be?
soon.
The calendar?
yeah, having an actual calendar up.
Yeah.
And when
Maybe.
you provide me the information, I will
Yeah.
put it up there.
I know.
Yeah, I love it.
If-
I would like to work on expanding the tavern.
In what way?
So I would like to be able to be a full service inn so that we could have more room since we have to do some repairs anyway because of the
No.
fire.
If we find some enterprising young people, we could expand the services and have backup for if we go adventuring. If you
Alicia.
catch my drift.
Slavery is not allowed.
I did not
anymore.
say slavery.
I'm just saying.
I was
We're an
thinking.
inclusive group here.
I wasn't thinking slavery.
No, it sounded like you
I was
were.
thinking like.
Employees.
Interns?
I was thinking if we like started running a brothel, then.
Oh, Jesus, Alicia. I have no
I was
problem
trying
with
to
this
keep it
direction.
family
We were trying to
friendly,
be family
John.
friendly, but whorehouse it is. I got my one curse in for the show. So I would like to expand and just have more rooms, be able to do full service breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And sure, if we want to do a little sex on the side, it's fine. Whatever.
I'm just
I have
saying.
no issue with that.
Then they can also run the tavern, but
Yeah.
they're like earning their keep in the meantime. For when we don't need them to.
We are
All
quickly
right.
becoming the Thenardiers, if anybody was curious. It's great.
What?
The Thenardiers.
I have no idea what that is.
They're the people from Les Mis.
I don't think I've ever heard that pronounced. I've only like read it,
Yeah.
and it's French, so.
Thenardiers.
Well, real quick, just because this has been something that's come up a couple times during the game that hopefully we can address. On your, in the dead center of your sheet where you have your weapons,
Yes.
can you put there your spell save DC so you guys have that on you?
Where would I find that? Oh, it's on this sheet.
It's on the last page
13,
normally.
yeah.
All right, I would like to address a few things.
Yes.
First of all, I also would have loved for the Ogre family to continue running this inn. Kim. She said, I was thinking the Ogre family, but you ran them off. We don't know where they are yet.
We didn't run them off. I
But
mean,
it does make
they had
sense
some
that
issues.
we had to protect ourselves from people finding them.
yeah,
And then Thallium
they're in the Ogre
really
protection program.
is thinking like we do that we should have a cult to do our tasks.
We're-
And that's definitely not slavery.
Yeah, cult is way better. We are charismatic. I can just keep brewing my blessed brew and get our charisma up. We could start a cult, no problem.
Thanks.
Get
Oh, you tend to
pastries.
put our- I'm sorry, what?
I said pocket pastries. We can stuff it in the pocket pastries. Give
Yes,
them,
brew and pocket pastries.
Golly.
We
instead of
are
drink the
gonna
Kool-Aid,
do a
it's eat the
cult.
pastry.
Yeah,
That's less terrifying.
we are a cult. I like it. So yeah, I would like to spend my time expanding our service offerings and our room.
Okay.
So we have a larger inn.
Thanks.
Alicia's having too much fun.
Kim
on
said
Twitch
the
chat.
drunk fungus cult will lose you money.
Nope.
Drunk fungus cults. It's muddy.
Truffles and alcohol. It's a winning combination.
No way, that
That's
came
what
in
I'm going
badly.
in the back.
You guys have already just.
One of my special new cocktails is literally called bubbly. So I'm pretty sure we can just make it like champagne and throw like nice Gatsby parties.
I like it. I'm all in favor.
Yay.
I love our direction.
We'll see how things go.
It's not dark, at least.
All right. So,
Yes.
that's what you intend to do. Over the course of that period of time, it does seem like for the expansion, you do need someone to actually do the labor side of things. There is a general handyman that lives in the village. If you want to get it done quickly, like actually get it done within the next 2 months so that it's actually completed by the time next session rolls around,
Yep.
you will need Brothfuss and the family's help.
That's fine.
So you don't encourage him to go and run away immediately. You keep him around.
Yeah, for a couple months. And
Okay.
then he can get in the ogre protection program. No problem.
I mean, can't we like teach them how to disguise themselves?
You can provide disguises. How would you go about doing that?
Well, I would make Eenie and Meanie conjoined twins. Really throw people off the scent.
Oh my God. You have thought way too much about this.
I've never thought about this before.
It's great.
Okay, that lasts a good 30 minutes from when you first try it because they immediately take off the conjoined parts because they're constantly fighting.
What if we turn them into tieflings? Like paint them blue and glue some horns on their heads.
The paint wears off over the course of a
They
day.
have to reapply it. They need to have some. I've lost my word.
I'll give you some time to actually think about how you intend to have them disguise or change their appearance.
What if we just dig a tunnel between their house and the inn, and then they just never go outside?
They live across the village. If I could bring up they live literally in the opposite direction.
I don't think about it more.
Okay. I'm not against this disguise plan, but 4 kids and a family, they aren't going to do 3 hours of cosmetic work before leaving the house every day. Moving's easier.
Agreed.
But yeah, I'm also trying to do short stories. So we just finished up one story arc. The next group of stories is going to be different. And they'll also be
Same characters.
same characters and everything, but it'll cover about a level worth of material. Just so that you guys see how I deal with pacing and everything. But yeah, past that, we have 20 minutes left on the clock. Is there anything else or any questions that we can address?
Dahlia and I are discussing traveling the world. How I want to go to London and see a show. He recommends seeing Kinky Boots in
Oh,
London.
that sounds amazing.
And
In
Wicked.
London? Yes.
But we saw Wicked on Broadway, so I would go see Kinky Boots. Personally, it's just my preference. If we ever make it and can travel again,
22,
you know,
maybe.
if our passports are ever good for the rest of the world again.
Yeah.
And then he's been to the States. Caleb has actually been to the UK, right? Because you went to Ireland,
I went to Ireland, yeah.
like the UK side of Ireland, or the others? Like, isn't there?
I've been to
isn't-
both.
Okay.
I'm not sure how
Um,
the name nomenclature breaks down with that, but I've been to Northern and Southern Ireland.
He went to Orlando for Disney.
Oh,
Disney's fun.
Universal's fun. Disney's a hot
I've
bag of
never
garbage.
been to Universal. I like Epcot.
Disney is the shitty version of Six Flags. It's a
There's your
horrible
second
opinion.
curse.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Crappy version. It's nicer. My opinion, I love Epcot. I do enjoy Epcot very much. I've been to UK and Epcot, and then Universal is the best.
How about you, Meg? Where have you been?
Yeah.
I haven't been to a lot of places. I've been to Disney World. I prefer Universal Studios, although sadly I was there before Harry Potter World started,
Oh, God,
so I
so
feel like I
sad.
need to go back. And I have not spent much time out of the country except for my mother's from Canada. So we spent some time, she moved
Canada.
here when she was 10. So I have relatives in Canada and I've spent some time there. Jared, my boyfriend, has been everywhere, and his whole family just went to Ireland last summer. I'm very sad I missed that trip.
awesome.
And they talked about how it was amazing. But we were just saying how London is pretty high up on our list. Although I
Take a
think
company trip.
Greece is going to be our
We
next
can all pay
trip.
for ourselves. But we
for
can
Greece
well,
is,
of the
yeah,
world.
I've heard Greece is amazing. I've been to Colombia.
Ooh,
I've been to all of the Caribbean, like literally the entire Caribbean. I've
I'm a
been
big cruise person.
Yeah, I've been to Aruba. I've been to Curacao. I've been to Honduras. I've been to the Dominican Republic. Been to Haiti. I've been to the all of the Bahamas, Bermuda, everywhere.
Hello, pretty mama.
Hello, pretty mama. Key Largo, Montego. I've been
Copyright.
to all those places too. Yeah.
I have been
Sure.
to Costa Rica a surprising amount of
Costa
times.
Rica.
And
Costa
then
Rica's beautiful.
I've been to Italy.
I know, yeah.
This is a get to know you.
Yeah, we're getting to know
Alright.
Thallium and us.
Yeah, this is how he
Talking
becomes
about
our
world
best
travel.
friend.
Yeah.
And then we
Excuse me.
fly him over here
He joins our cult.
to, join us one day when we can all travel again.
Yeah.
And then he becomes like our first fan other than your mom.
Cult member.
Love you, Kim.
Number 1.
And
Exactly.
yeah, I think he's going to go in the wiki, personally.
There you go.
This is what happens.
Yeah, first fan. All right.
All right. So what else, Caleb? I'm sorry.
I'm
I
sorry.
was
We're
down a
in-
rabbit hole.
We're in free form.
What's something you would want to know more about in terms of the world? Like, you guys are basically just in a small corner pocket of the universe.
Yeah, I think it would be good to do to learn a little bit more about the surrounding area. I know, like your other group is in the same universe.
Well, they are on the same group of islands because you guys. In session 0, I have my players pick the 2 regional races that are kind of local there, just so that there's a little bit more cohesion. And my other group was like, we want to do Dragonborns and Gnomes. And these guys were like, we want to be in a region with Dragonborns and Gnomes. I'm like, okay, maybe we'll pick a different region. The other group was like coastal and jungle. And these guys were like, we want to do coastal and mountains. I'm like, well, great. They live in the exact same place practically. So, yay, convenience. And it is beneficial, though, because it means I only have to do one set of prep work for both games.
Yeah, makes sense.
So,
So I think it'd be good to learn more about them and the islands, the surrounding areas,
Sure.
just to learn more about it.
How much would our little island know about like Ragnarok and what happened with that?
well, Meg was an infant during Ragnarok, so she would know that the planes of existence crashed together. She's probably not. She knew that a group of adventurers made various choices, killed off all the gods somehow, and they are known as the bringers of the apocalypse. So, because my last group of heroes thought it would be a great idea to be evil, and so they killed everyone.
We won't do that. We won't turn.
Thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
appreciate that.
Brothels and sex cults, maybe, but not evil. We're not evil people. It's fine.
Thanks.
exactly.
You're welcome.
The bar is so low.
It's great.
But yeah, that's what Meg would know. That some people thought it would be a good idea to kill off the gods. And they did.
Knowing the players of that game as well as I do, they would do it in real life. Caleb's other game has been, for 2 of the current players, has been going on for 4 years?
From the first campaign was 4 years. This
Yeah.
current game is going close to a year now.
No, it started in February.
Really?
In 6 months.
6 months. Okay,
It started right before COVID hit.
2020 feels a lot longer.
That's true.
But yeah, so this is just a continuation of this campaign world.
It's cool.
I don't want to throw away all that prep work.
No, it makes sense.
But yeah, and then pretty soon we're gonna have to do, like I said earlier, a quick live stream either on Instagram or Twitch of you showing off your D&D room, just because
Yes.
it is impressive, and you can all thank Kim for that.
There you go.
She introduced you to D&D, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Oh yeah. Yes.
thank you, Kim, for making an amazing geek child. who is-
I've been playing since I was 10, I believe, is whenever I first started playing in 2nd edition. I'm
and you're
old.
now 32?
That's
32,
great.
right?
I
You're
don't
still
know.
32?
If you were Jesus, you'd have one more year to live.
Wow, John.
Got dark.
Thanks for that
Got
segue.
dark. You're welcome. Here to help.
It's fine. He has a respawn point, so
He does.
just as a 3-day cooldown.
Yep. Spells can cool down for 3 days.
What? Am I wrong?
No, I mean it's all there in the
It's
all there in
canon.
the good book.
It's canon.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
So
Next week we'll be building an arc and putting 2 of everything, including dinosaurs, on it.
no, the next session will be the next story arc.
Sorry.
Different
Oh, got it.
So,
Vote for Gully.
thing.
Vote for God.
Thalium said, what time would this D&D room tour stream be? I don't want to be asleep because of the time difference. I don't know. We will announce it ahead of time because we do need to clean up before we do it. Our house didn't really have a space for me to have an office, and I really don't want you to see my crazy person cave that I have built in the room for myself. So we will announce it ahead of time, and we'll make sure to tag you, Thalium, in that announcement. But it will probably be early afternoon for us. So probably around the same time, like 3 or 4 o'clock.
All right. This is oddly a lot of fun
It
talking.
was.
I
This
to-
was great. Yeah.
You know, I have been telling you for how long that you just need to like get on and talk to people.
Yeah, this is
Yeah.
great.
I'm an awkward human being.
And now
so-
that I have been in front of the camera, I guess I am the best person to make you do this
Yeah.
at home at times. So.
Valium, invite some friends. Bring people.
Oh yeah. If your players are curious about how a game works, showing them my show might be helpful.
Yeah. And then we're gonna have guest players at some point. So
Yeah, that'll
And
be
yet
fun.
the announcement will be on Facebook, Instagram, and probably TikTok.
And everywhere.
Yeah. And Caleb is literally Dungeon Havoc or Dungeon_Havoc everywhere. So,
Yeah. But I guess
Kim, you are a wonderful weird mom. Not just a weird mom, just so you know.
so.
And yes, Thalia, I 100% agree. We are all awkward human beings, just in
Yes.
slightly different ways.
true story.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for spreading the message.
Yes.
Telling you, he was really on board with the cult member #1 thing too.
See? Yeah.
He is our first cult member. We should send him a
Yay.
free
Can we make him a
t-shirt.
shirt that says cult
Yeah.
member #1?
Yes. 100%.
Yes.
Valium, next when Caleb
We start doing
DMs you,
merch.
we will get your address in your tiny village outside of Oxford, and we will send you a cult member #1 T-shirt for the Holy Hops Tavern. You're in.
Great.
Got it.
And if COVID ever ends and he wants to come visit, he can be a guest spot.
Well, that'd be fun.
Yeah, you can be a guest member.
Yeah.
We need vaccines, or it's all going to end November 3rd. If
Yeah.
you're a lunatic and think that the entire world conspired against the U.S. to get Trump out of office by using a flu, which is conspiracy theory right now. It's hilarious.
So, thank you for joining us.
Yes, thanks everyone.
And until next week, where our story will pick up and we'll have fun.
Yeah.
Any questions? We're
No.
good?
Check us out on at Dungeon Havoc, of course, and at Bite Size Social. And what else, Alicia?
Yeah, thank you, Thalium and Kim. And if anyone else was watching, thank you, everyone. We love you all.
Yeah. See you guys next week.
Come talk to us on Twitch.
Have fun.
Bye, everyone.
I don't have
Oh,
the buttons.
Caleb doesn't know how to turn off the stream,
And
so.
I'm not allowed to touch anything for
Do,
reasons.
do, 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 do. Hold music. That's not copyrighted. It's coming out of my head.
Gosh.